For those of you who couldn't make it up to Rosewood this year, we're really sad about that. Let me show you the newest building that we're putting up in the back. This is a new 8x20 building that a local contractor, John Rautenberg, started putting up a couple of weeks ago. It's pretty amazing what he could get done in a couple of weeks. As you can see, it's already half completed. Let me show you some of the stuff inside. This front portion is 8x12. It's the same size as, your standard storage shed. A couple of differences though. It's going to be very weather tight. It's going to hold the heat in much better than your standard uninsulated shed. So it's more of a 4-season building, and we're really excited about that because we have only ever had 3-season buildings here. So when the cold weather moves in, this will give us a place to tuck in and stay warm and work here really even after the snow flies. These wall cavities, of course, we'll be putting in polystyrene board, and then some kind of tongue and groove wood over top of that to fully insulate it. This is one of the most important things. As you can see, the rafters there are really, really strong. They're close together. Steel roof. It's a lot of strength. That was really important because back here we've had a couple of those 4-season canvas garages that we've stored equipment in and stuff, and they've been okay for a while. But when you get a big snow load back here, like you do at Rosewood and in the area, really, those things eventually come down. We've had 2 come down. I've cleaned up wreckage back here twice. In the end, it was a lot of hassle, a lot of expense. So if you're going to put up a 4-season canvas garage for storage, I would do it in an area where you don't have a lot of snow. If you do, honestly, for how much you pay for them, I would spend the extra money and build yourself a proper strong building with a steel roof that's going to shed snow very well. Of course, the rain. It's also going to last a lot longer. That steel roof will be in place a lot longer than I'm going to be around. This back space here, it's 8x8. It's going to serve a couple of different purposes through the season when no one's here. I'm going to be using this as an art studio. Actually, I'm really excited about that. I haven't had my own personal space, a personal art studio for quite some time, so I'm really excited about that. But when we do have people up here who maybe don't enjoy camping, they don't want to sleep on the ground, we're going to set this up with a small cot and make it very comfortable, and so it's also going to serve as a second, well, not a second, we've got a couple of places for people to sleep at Rosewood now, but an additional space for people who want to close the door and tuck in and don't want to be camping. Big consideration in building back here is we built up on high ground. Now, at Rosewood, we don't have a lot of flat, open fields. So part of this was by necessity. We found this space. It was fairly flat. And it was fairly easy to remove all the trees. But there was also a practical consideration in choosing high ground. Now, a lot of buildings, they build them, you've seen them in suburbs, right? Flat fields, they build their buildings in flat rows, and that's great. It makes it easy to get into the site and build a building, but you've also got water accumulation. You hear about this after big rainstorms, basements get flooded, flooding becomes a problem. So up on a piece of high ground like this, you really don't have the risk of being flooded. Everything is very rocky ground, so number one, it's very porous, so the rain tends not to accumulate, but also it sheds off everywhere. So when it comes off the roof, it's the ground, it just keeps on going. So it's a very dry location in terms of planning for big rainstorms, and from what I understand, Ontario is supposed to be getting more rainy summers in the future. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but considering the rainfall, that's one of the big things you've got to think about when you're building anything, is how is the rain going to shed off. And up here, the building's going to stay dry, and it should be just fine for years. So anyway, that was a long, rambling, and maybe a little bit confusing tour of our new 8x20 building, but there you go.